What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, so that means today is Trash Talk Tuesday. And today we're talking about 7 rude things we do and say to people without knowing. Mostly our friends and our loved ones, even our family, the people we're around the most. We do a lot of rude shit and say a lot of rude things to the people we supposedly care about. I was noticing people's conversations, even my own, and it just kind of stuck out to me that why is it that we're around these people all the time and we're so rude to them? So I wanted to make this a podcast. I've been thinking about this topic for a while, and I'm excited to actually talk about it. But before I start, my girlfriend pointed out to me that on every Trash Talk Tuesday podcast, I make the sound ugh, and I do this thing with my hands. Ugh. So I'm going to attempt not to do that for the entire podcast. Here we go. The first thing, the most rude thing you could say to someone, whether it's a person you love or in a relationship or a friendship, is I'm busy. That's the worst thing you could ever say to someone, being busy. Basically, you're saying, not right now. I'm too busy. That's so fucking rude. You're telling them that they are not important. You're basically saying, I have a lot more other important things to do, and it's not you, so sorry. Now, it's okay to have other priorities. That's completely fine. It's life. We're allowed to have other priorities, but it's the way in which you say things that will make you come across as a dick. By saying I'm busy, you're not telling them why or what's going on. You're just saying that they're less important than what you have going on. Why not try saying something like, hey, I have this article to write, and then I'll get with you in about 20 minutes. Or, hey, I have family in town. Let's hang out next week. You can do it in a better way. But by saying not right now, you're minimizing their importance. And you're just making yourself seem like a douchebag. So don't do that. One of the worst things you could ever do to someone while talking with them face to face is answering your phone. No doubt you're going to be in a conversation with someone and your phone's going to ring, because that always happens. You only get phone calls when you're doing shit. You never get phone calls when you're bored. By answering that phone in front of the person, especially if you guys were in the middle of talking. Mostly, if you guys were in the middle of talking and your phone rings, don't answer it. Let me explain why. By answering your phone in the middle of a conversation, you are showing that person that they are not important. You're showing that person that they just don't care about you as much as they care about the phone call. Well, what happens if it's an important phone call? What happens if it's, regardless of the important phone call, you can take it in a second. You can get back to them. Most likely, and you know this, most likely it's not a life or death situation. It's not. Well, the phone call is important. So what am I? So what is that person you're talking to? Oh, well, you're less important. Yeah, this phone call is more important. You're less important. That's what you mean. Yeah, you sound like a dick. That's pretty damn rude, don't you think? One of the best ways to, I want to say fabricate, but that sounds terrible. One of the best ways to gain friendship with someone in the beginning, when you first meet them, if your phone rings, pull it out of your pocket as you're talking with the person, making eye contact, and turn your phone on silent and put it back in your pocket. You just showed that person that you're talking to that they are important. You just showed them that they are more important than that phone call. Could have been a bill collector, could have been your parents. It doesn't matter. That person now thinks that you value them and you respect their time and their value. Yeah, maybe try that. Body language. Did I just do it? Did I do the ugh? No. Does sighing count as ugh? I don't think so. I think we're still good. Body language. When someone is interested in someone, when someone values them or wants to hear them speak, or just is genuinely interested, they face the person. Their feet are usually facing the person, or they're mirroring their body language, which is a little more advanced stage of body language, but people face the person. Their shoulders are toward the person. They're giving them their attention. They're showing them where their interest is. And their interest is in the person speaking or in the person that they're in the presence of. What we do a lot with people that comes across as really rude is we don't face them. You know, someone's laying in bed and you're talking to them, even if you're standing up, and they're just kind of looking at their phone, or their body language is somewhere else, not towards you. They might still be talking to you, but subconsciously you take that as disinterest. You take that as, you feel less important. It is a little bit rude to not give your body language to the person. Let me explain. You know when someone comes up to you and you don't really want to talk, like, oh, this guy again. That didn't count either because I was saying a story. Oh, this guy again. I don't want to talk to this person. And they see you and they're like, damn it, they saw me. So they come up to you and they're talking to you and talking up a storm. And you're kind of facing away from them, like, yeah, like that. You purposely position yourself away from them to show disinterest. But when you do that to your friends, and when you do that to someone you love or someone you care about, it sucks. That's super rude. That's not cool. It's not a genuine friendship signal. That's more of like a faux type signal. And it goes with body language. Could be anything from, the position of your hands to your smile. Actually, in one of the books I read called The Like Switch, which I'm reading it again for the second time because it's fascinating on body language, he was talking about how women who get Botox, sometimes they get Botox for their spouse, their significant other, and they want to impress them. They want to look better for them. But what they end up doing is minimizing their body language. They minimize their facial reactions and smiles and these facial cues that send signals to their partner that they're interested. So their partner ends up losing interest in them because those signals aren't received properly. That body language isn't reciprocated, and it's taken as a what's called a faux signal. It's taken as a signal that doesn't evoke that emotion that they once had. So a lot of times these relationships get messed up because of that Botox, which was thought to fix something that wasn't broken. And it comes off as rude. So body language is a real thing, and not just in relationships, but in friendships too. Adding to body language is eye contact. I'm huge on eye contact, whether it's a stranger or a person that I've been friends with my entire life. I value and base respect off eye contact. You can see confidence, you can see fear, you can see so many emotions and so many thought patterns through the way people, make eye contact. And I love it. I'm fascinated by it. But a dwindling relationship or a failing or one-sided friendship, you can see that eye contact slowly dissipates. Or you're just not interested, so you don't make eye contact with the person. You're looking at your phone, you're looking down, you're looking out at the street because you're daydreaming about all the things you need to do or the things you want or other things. You're just not being present. And that's rude. That's rude to not, along with body language, to not make eye contact with the people who are close to you. And sometimes we take it for granted, the people who are close to us, so we're like, oh, yeah, these little signals, they won't bother them, Or we don't even think about it, We're so enthralled in our lives, we're so selfish that we're like, he's important to me, that person's important to me, but I gotta do this, and this, Again, everyone is busy. Everyone is busy. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse to lose the relationship value or the friendship values that you have and not respect the person. Make sense? Now, on to my most hated saying that people say to me or to anyone, oh, you just need to, in response to trying to solve a problem that I'm coming to someone with. So if I was explaining to someone how I'm depressed or how I'm struggling with an issue, and they say, oh, you just need to do this, I'm explaining how big of an issue this is to them, and they minimize my problem. They simplify my problem. They're basically showing me that my issue, oh, fuck your issue. It's not, it's not important at all. It's super easy. It's nothing. Brush it off. That is so fucking rude. Maybe I'm overthinking this like I usually do, but I'm not. Because when someone says, oh, you just need to do this. Oh, you just should do this. Just do this. They're basically saying what you think is a big issue isn't a big issue to me. So just try this little thing and that'll be fine. On to the next subject. No, that's not cool. That's not cool. That's on a friend level, you're basically saying their problems aren't important. On a relationship level, you're basically saying, stop talking. It's not cool. And on to, not the last thing, the second to last thing. Talking over people. This can be taken multiple ways. Talking over people in the sense of bulldozing them, uninterested in their stories, so you constantly talk over them and don't let them get a word out. Or you pretend to listen by saying, oh, yeah, to rush their point so that you can get yours across. Or talking over people, something I can be guilty of. Sometimes I'll hear people what they're saying or what they're trying to explain, and in my head I'm attempting to help them because I'm thinking a lot of steps ahead because I overthink everything. So I finish their point for them and continue on with their point, which is bulldozing, and it's rude. Again, the reason I do these podcasts are not just to preach. I'm talking peer to peer. I'm not talking from a pedestal. These are things I need to work on, and these topics that I bring up are real life topics that are usually in my life. And I'm super guilty of them. In fact, I just did this to my girlfriend 12 minutes ago as we were talking about it, and I caught myself and I called myself on this shit. We don't pay attention to these little things we do, these little cues and these little sayings we say to our close group. And it really can come across as rude. On top of the talking over people, there's something called selfish storytelling. You probably know that person who will ask you, oh, hey, how was your day? And then immediately go off into how their day was in explicit detail, in boring detail. Or they think it's interesting, but they don't care about your day. They don't care about what you have to say or how you've been. They just want to tell you how they've been. And in human nature, we are pretty selfish. But that's selfish storytelling. It's another form of bulldozing people and just not caring how people are doing. And when you show that you don't care or that the other person's story or day wasn't important, you're being rude. And in being rude, you're attempting or getting close to sacrificing a relationship or a friendship because of your selfish storytelling. There's also the one-up type people who hear someone's story and they're like, oh, you went to California? I went to California too, but I went for longer. Oh, you went to Japan? I went to Japan, but I had a better time. My story was much better. They're those people who always have to one-up people. And it ties into the selfish storytelling. We're guilty of a lot of these things. I know I'm guilty of a lot of these things. And you might be guilty of other ones too. We are rude as hell to the people we're closest to. And sometimes, I listed 7 things today. Each of those things don't seem too bad. Like body language, eye contact, really? Is that super important? That might not be a big problem. But when all these little problems add up, it can equal a big problem. And over time, that subconscious rudeness, that vibe people are getting from you, it can really affect a relationship and a friendship. Start paying attention to what you say and what you do to the people closest to you and what they do to you. Are they giving you value? Are they showing you you're important? Are they actually interested, or are they rushing you along? Are they bulldozing you? Are you bulldozing them? Are you telling people you're busy? Why? Start paying attention to these little things and see if you're being rude or the people close to you are being rude. Let me know how that goes. That wraps up today's Trash Talk Tuesday episode. Not as cursy, not as crazy and explosive, but real. Very real. I'm really interested to see if people start to pick up on these cues of rudeness in their circle. So like I said, please comment below or message me. You can email me or DM me on Instagram and let me know. I'm really interested. I'll be back on Thursday with an episode of Donuts and Diabetes. And until then, I will talk to you guys later.